This is Max and Mia podcast.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Max and Mia podcast.
Hi guys, we're so happy to have you here with us today.
Whether you're listening on your morning commute, at the gym, or just chilling at home, we're thrilled you chose to spend some time with us.
Absolutely. And if you're new here, welcome to the show. We're Max and Mia, and we're here to help you improve your English in a fun and natural way.
Before we dive into today's episode, we'd really appreciate it if you could hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. It truly helps us reach more learners like you.
Yes, and don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss an episode.
So, what do we have in store for today, Mia?
Well, today's episode is super practical. We're going to listen to several everyday conversations, the kind of situations you'll definitely encounter in real life.
Exactly. We're talking about dialogues you might experience at a cafe, while shopping, chatting with friends, or even at work.
The goal is simple. Boost your vocabulary and sharpen your listening skills with realistic conversations.
So grab your headphones, get comfortable, and let's get started.
Let's jump right in.
All right, so our first conversation today is about something we've all dealt with at some point.
Oh, I think I know where this is going. Complaining about a service, right?
Exactly. Specifically, we're looking at an internet service issue. And let's be honest, this is such a common and often frustrating situation.
So frustrating. I mean, your internet goes down, you can't work, you can't stream your favorite shows. It's a nightmare.
Right. And here's the thing. Chances are you'll experience this at some point. Whether you're the customer calling to complain, or maybe you end up working in customer service yourself.
That's such a good point, Max. Understanding both sides of this conversation is really valuable. You learn how to express your complaint politely but firmly, and also how to handle these situations professionally.
Exactly. So, pay close attention to the vocabulary and phrases used here. Notice how the customer stays polite while still making their frustration clear.
Okay, let's listen to the conversation.
Good afternoon. Thank you for calling Horizon Internet. My name is Sarah. How can I help you today?
Hi, Sarah. My name is David Thompson. I'm calling because I've been having serious issues with my internet connection for the past 3 days. And honestly, I'm quite frustrated at this point.
I completely understand your frustration, Mr. Thompson. Internet problems can be really disruptive. Let me pull up your account so I can look into this for you. Can you confirm your account number or the phone number associated with your account?
Sure. It's 555-0147.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay, I've got your account here. I can see you've been a customer with us for over 2 years now. Can you describe what's been happening with your connection?
Well, the internet keeps cutting out every few hours. Sometimes it drops completely for 20 or 30 minutes at a time. I work from home, so this has really been affecting my job. I've missed 2 important video calls this week because the connection just died in the middle of them.
That must have been incredibly stressful, especially with work calls. I'm really sorry you've been dealing with this. Have you noticed a pattern to when the connection drops? Like, does it happen at specific times of the day?
Not really. It seems pretty random. It happened yesterday morning around 10 a.m., then again in the afternoon around 3, and last night it went out for almost an hour starting at 8 p.m.
I see. And have you tried restarting your router when this happens?
Yes, multiple times. I've unplugged it, waited for a minute, plugged it back in, the whole routine. It helps temporarily, but then the problem comes back within a few hours.
Okay, that's helpful to know. Let me check something on our end. I'm looking at the diagnostics for your area right now. I'm not seeing any outages reported in your neighborhood, but I am noticing that your signal strength has been fluctuating quite a bit over the past few days.
So what does that mean exactly? Is it a problem with my equipment or something on your end?
It could be a few things. Sometimes it's related to the router itself, but given that you've already tried restarting it several times, I'm thinking it might be an issue with the line coming into your home, or possibly something at the local node. I'd like to run a remote diagnostic test, if that's okay with you. It'll just take a couple of minutes.
Sure, go ahead. Whatever it takes to fix this.
Great. Just stay on the line with me. This shouldn't take long. Okay, I'm running the test now. All right, the results are coming through. Mr. Thompson, I'm seeing some packet loss and inconsistent signal levels, which confirms there's definitely something wrong. This isn't normal behavior at all.
So what's the next step? Can you fix it remotely, or do you need to send someone out?
Unfortunately, this isn't something I can resolve remotely. We'll need to send a technician to your location to check the physical connections and equipment. I know that's not ideal, but it's the best way to get this sorted out properly.
How soon can someone come out? Like I said, I really need reliable internet for work. I can't keep dealing with this.
I completely understand. Let me check our technician availability. We have an opening tomorrow between 1 and 4 p.m., or we could schedule something for Wednesday morning between 8 and 11 a.m. Which works better for you?
Tomorrow would be much better. I can't wait until Wednesday. Can you guarantee someone will show up in that time window? I've heard stories about technicians not showing up or arriving way outside the scheduled time.
I can assure you we take our appointment window seriously. You'll receive a text message and an email confirmation, and on the day of the appointment, our technician will text you about 30 minutes before they arrive. If for any reason they're running late, you'll be notified.
Okay, that sounds reasonable. And just to be clear, will I be charged for this service call? Because this isn't my fault. The service I'm paying for isn't working properly.
That's a fair question. Since we've confirmed there's an issue with the service we're providing, there will be no charge for this technician visit. Additionally, I'm going to add a credit to your account for the 3 days of disrupted service. You'll see that reflected in your next bill.
Well, I appreciate that. That's actually more than I expected.
It's the least we can do, Mr. Thompson. We value your business and we want to make this right. Is there anything else I can help you with today?
No, I think that covers everything. Thanks for being so helpful, Sarah. I know it's not your fault personally, and you've handled this really professionally.
Thank you so much for saying that. I really appreciate it. And thank you for your patience. You should receive that confirmation email within the next few minutes. If anything changes or if you have any questions before tomorrow, don't hesitate to call us back.
Will do. Thanks again.
You're very welcome. Have a great rest of your day, Mr. Thompson.
You too. Bye.
Goodbye.
Wow, that was a really good example of how to handle a complaint politely but firmly.
Absolutely. David was clearly frustrated, but he stayed calm and respectful throughout the whole conversation. And Sarah did an excellent job managing the situation.
Right. Did you notice how he used phrases like, "I'm quite frustrated," and "this has really been affecting my job"? He expressed his feelings without being aggressive.
Yes, and Sarah acknowledged his frustration multiple times. I completely understand. That must have been incredibly stressful. That's such an important skill in customer service.
For sure. And the outcome was positive too. He got a technician appointment, a credit on his bill, and no service charge. That's how a good complaint should end.
Exactly. Okay, moving on to our next conversation.
So, this next scenario is something that makes a lot of people nervous.
Oh no, are we talking about first dates?
We absolutely are. And let's be real, first dates can be nerve-wracking in your own language. But imagine doing it in English when it's not your first language.
That's a whole other level of stress. You're already worried about making a good impression, and then you have to think about your grammar and vocabulary too.
Exactly. But here's the thing. This is actually a pretty common situation for a lot of English learners. Maybe you're traveling, studying abroad, or you've met someone through an app.
Right. And it's such good practice because first date conversations have a natural flow. You ask questions, share stories, find common interests.
And there's lots of useful vocabulary and expressions you can pick up. So let's listen to this first date between Emma and Jake.
Let's hear how it goes.
Hi, you must be Emma. I'm Jake.
Yes, hi Jake. Nice to finally meet you in person. I was starting to think I'd gotten the wrong cafe.
Oh, no, I hope you weren't waiting long. I actually got here about 5 minutes early and I'd been sitting at that table over there, but then I realized you probably wouldn't recognize me from across the room.
No worries at all. I just arrived a couple of minutes ago myself. This place is really cozy, by the way. Have you been here before?
A few times, yeah. They make incredible coffee, and their pastries are amazing. I'm kind of a regular on weekends. What about you? Do you live around here?
Not too far, actually. I'm about 15 minutes away by bus. I usually hang out on the other side of town, but I've heard great things about this neighborhood.
It's a nice area. Lots of little shops and cafes to explore. So, should we grab something to drink first? I'm thinking of getting their cappuccino.
That sounds perfect. I'll go for a latte, I think. And maybe we could split one of those croissants. They look delicious.
Good idea. I'm actually starving. I went for a run this morning and didn't eat much for breakfast.
Oh, you're a runner. That's impressive. I've been trying to get into running for ages, but I always give up after like 2 weeks.
Yeah, I've been doing it for about 3 years now. Honestly, the first few months were brutal. My legs would ache for days after each run. But once you push through that initial phase, it becomes kind of addictive.
Maybe I need to stick with it longer then. Do you run every day?
Not every day. Usually 4 or 5 times a week. I'm actually training for a half marathon in March. It's my first one, so I'm a bit nervous about it.
Wow, that's a big deal. I'm sure you'll do great, though. When did you sign up for it?
About 2 months ago. A friend talked me into it. She's done like 5 marathons and she made it sound so easy. But now that I'm in the middle of training, I realize how challenging it actually is.
I can imagine. Well, I'll be cheering you on from my couch with a cup of tea.
Well, fair enough. So, what do you like to do in your free time? Your profile mentioned something about photography?
Oh, yes. I'm really into photography. I wouldn't call myself a professional or anything, but I love taking photos whenever I travel or even just walking around the city. There's something special about capturing a moment, you know?
Absolutely. What kind of things do you usually photograph? Like landscapes, people, or...
Mostly street photography and architecture. I love finding interesting angles and playing around with light and shadows. I've been thinking about taking a proper course to improve my skills.
That's really cool. I'm hopeless with cameras. Every photo I take ends up blurry or poorly framed. Do you post your work anywhere online?
I have an Instagram account where I put up some of my favorites, but I'm not very consistent with it. I keep meaning to post more regularly, but life gets in the way, you know?
I totally get that. I started a blog once about running and healthy eating, and I think I made about 3 posts before I forgot all about it.
That's so relatable. We all have these grand plans and then reality hits. Speaking of which, what do you do for work? Do you enjoy it?
I work in marketing for a tech company. It's interesting most of the time, though it can get pretty hectic when we're launching a new product. The team is great, though, which makes a huge difference.
Oh, that does sound interesting. Is it a big company?
Medium-sized, I'd say, about 200 employees. We're growing pretty quickly, though. What about you? What field are you in?
I'm a primary school teacher. I teach 7- and 8-year-olds, so my days are never boring. It's challenging, but incredibly rewarding.
That must require so much patience. I don't think I could handle a classroom full of kids. How long have you been teaching?
This is my 4th year. I was terrified on my first day, but now I can't imagine doing anything else. The kids are hilarious, and they come out with the most unexpected things.
I bet you have some great stories. My sister is a teacher too, and the things she tells me about her students are just wild.
Oh, definitely. Just last week, one of my students brought in his pet hamster for show and tell, and it escaped during class. We spent 20 minutes trying to catch it while the kids were going absolutely crazy.
No way! Did you eventually catch it?
Thankfully, yes. It was hiding behind the bookshelf. I thought I was going to have to call the janitor or something. My heart was racing the whole time.
That's actually hilarious. I can just picture the chaos. You must need a strong coffee after days like that.
Oh, absolutely. Coffee and a lot of deep breathing. But honestly, those are the moments that make the job fun. So, have you always lived in this city?
No. I actually moved here about 6 years ago for university and just never left. I'm originally from a small town up north. It's beautiful up there, but way too quiet for me. What about you?
I grew up here, but I did spend a year studying abroad in Spain during university. That was an amazing experience. I came back with much better Spanish and a serious appreciation for good food.
Spain is fantastic. I went to Barcelona a couple of years ago and fell in love with it. The food, the architecture, the whole atmosphere. Where did you study?
I was in Sevilla. It's a bit different from Barcelona, but equally beautiful. The weather was incredible, and I made some friends I still keep in touch with.
That's wonderful. Do you still speak Spanish?
I try to. I watch Spanish shows sometimes to keep it up, but I'm definitely rusty. Languages are like muscles. If you don't use them, they weaken.
So true. I took French all through school, and I can barely remember any of it now.
Oh, that was such a sweet conversation. They seem to really hit it off.
Right? You could feel the chemistry there. They found so many common topics to talk about: running, photography, teaching, traveling.
And that hamster story was hilarious. Can you imagine the chaos in that classroom?
No way, I would have panicked. But yeah, this is exactly how first dates go when they're going well. Natural back and forth, asking questions, sharing stories.
Great example for our listeners. Okay, now let's move on to something a bit different.
So, this next conversation is going to be a little more advanced than the previous two.
Ooh, I like where this is heading. What's the topic?
We're getting philosophical here. Two friends debating whether money can actually buy happiness.
Ah, the age-old question. This is the kind of conversation you'd have once you're really comfortable with English, you know? It's not your typical everyday small talk.
Exactly. This requires you to express opinions, use more complex arguments, and really think critically in English. It's challenging but so valuable.
And honestly, it's such an interesting topic. I think everyone has a different take on this.
Absolutely. So here's what we want from you guys. After you listen to this conversation, drop a comment below telling us what you think. Does money bring happiness? We'd love to hear your perspective.
Yes, please share your thoughts. And if you're enjoying the episode so far, don't forget to hit that like button. It really helps us out.
All right. Let's listen to Marcus and Lily discussing this fascinating topic.
You know what I've been thinking about lately? Whether money actually brings happiness, or if that's just something we tell ourselves.
Ooh, that's a deep one. What brought this on?
Well, I ran into an old friend from university yesterday. He's incredibly wealthy now. Started his own company, drives a fancy car, lives in a massive house. But honestly, he seemed miserable.
Interesting. But couldn't that just be a coincidence? Maybe he's going through something personal that has nothing to do with money.
That's possible, sure, but it got me thinking. We spend so much of our lives chasing financial success, assuming it'll make us happy. What if we've got it all wrong?
I see your point, but I have to disagree. Money might not guarantee happiness, but it definitely solves a lot of problems that make people unhappy.
Such as?
Well, think about it. If you're struggling to pay rent, or you can't afford healthcare, or you're constantly worried about putting food on the table, you're not going to be happy, right? Money eliminates those stresses.
Fair enough. I suppose there's a difference between having enough money to meet your basic needs and having excessive wealth. Poverty clearly makes life harder.
Exactly. And beyond basic needs, money gives you options. It allows you to pursue experiences, travel, spend time with loved ones instead of working multiple jobs. That contributes to happiness, doesn't it?
To an extent, yes. But I think there's a threshold. Once you have enough to live comfortably, additional money doesn't necessarily increase happiness proportionally.
I'm not entirely convinced. What about the freedom that comes with wealth? Not having to worry about unexpected expenses, being able to retire early, having the means to help your family.
Those are valid points. But consider this. Some of the happiest people I know aren't particularly wealthy. My neighbor, for instance, is a librarian. She doesn't earn much, but she's genuinely content with her life.
But would she be happier with more money? Maybe she's making the best of her situation, but given the choice, wouldn't she prefer financial security?
Perhaps, but here's what concerns me. I've noticed that people who focus heavily on accumulating wealth often sacrifice other things, relationships, health, personal fulfillment. They work 80-hour weeks, barely see their families, and for what?
That's a choice, though, isn't it? Money itself isn't the problem. It's how people pursue it or what they give up for it. You can be wealthy and still prioritize relationships and health.
In theory, yes. But in practice, it's complicated. The pressure to maintain a certain lifestyle, to keep earning more, to compete with others, it becomes exhausting.
I get that. But aren't you romanticizing poverty a bit? It's easy to say money doesn't matter when you have enough. Try telling someone who can't afford medical treatment that money doesn't buy happiness.
No, you're right. I'm definitely not saying poverty is noble or that struggling financially is somehow better. I'm saying that beyond a certain point, the pursuit of wealth can become counterproductive.
Okay, so where do you draw the line? What's enough money?
That's subjective, isn't it? For me, enough means covering expenses, having some savings for emergencies, and being able to enjoy modest pleasures. I don't need a yacht or a mansion.
But what if you could afford those things without sacrificing anything else? Wouldn't that enhance your life?
Would it, though? Studies have shown that people adapt quickly to luxury. What feels exciting at first becomes normal, and then you need something even more extravagant to feel satisfied. It's a never-ending cycle.
That's called hedonic adaptation, right? I've read about that. But couldn't you argue the same thing about any source of happiness? Even relationships and experiences become routine over time.
True. But I think meaningful relationships and personal growth provide deeper, more lasting satisfaction than material possessions.
I don't disagree with that, but why does it have to be either or? Why can't you have financial success and meaningful relationships?
You can, theoretically. I just think our society overemphasizes money as the key to happiness, when research suggests other factors matter more. Strong social connections, a sense of purpose, good health, gratitude.
All of which are easier to maintain when you're not stressed about money. That's my whole argument. Money might not directly buy happiness, but it removes obstacles to happiness.
That's actually a fair way to put it. Money removes barriers but doesn't create happiness on its own.
Exactly. So maybe the real answer is that money matters up to a point. It's necessary, but not sufficient for happiness.
I can agree with that.
The problem is when people treat wealth accumulation as the ultimate goal rather than a means to an end.
Right. It's about balance and perspective. Money is a tool, not the destination.
Well said. I guess we're not as far apart on this as I thought.
See? Common ground. Though I still think you'd be happier with a bit more cash in your pocket.
Maybe, but I'm pretty content as things are.
Wow, that was such a thought-provoking conversation. I love how they explored both sides.
Marcus made some solid points about how chasing wealth can become exhausting. But Lily was spot on about money removing barriers to happiness.
Exactly. I think I'm somewhere in the middle. Money matters, but it's not everything. What do you guys think? Seriously, drop your opinion in the comments. We really want to hear from you.
Okay, before we wrap up, let's do a quick review of some really useful phrasal verbs we heard today.
Good idea. So, in the first conversation about the internet service, we heard cut out, meaning to stop working suddenly. Like, my internet keeps cutting out.
That's a great one. We also had show up in that conversation, which means to arrive or appear. Will the technician show up on time?
Great example. Then in the first date conversation, Emma said she always gives up on running after 2 weeks. That means to stop trying or to quit something.
And Jake mentioned that a friend talked him into running a marathon. When you talk someone into something, you persuade or convince them to do it.
Ooh, here's another good one from that conversation. Hang out. Emma said she usually hangs out on the other side of town. It means to spend time somewhere casually.
Nice. And in the debate about money, Marcus said he ran into an old friend. That means to meet someone unexpectedly or by chance.
Right. And Lily asked what brought this on, meaning what caused Marcus to start thinking about this topic. Super useful phrase.
These are the kinds of expressions that make your English sound natural and fluent, so try using them in your own conversations.
All right, everyone, that brings us to the end of today's episode.
We covered a lot of ground today, from dealing with frustrating service issues to navigating first date nerves, all the way to philosophical debates about wealth and happiness.
And hopefully you picked up tons of useful vocabulary and expressions along the way. Remember, the best way to improve your listening skills is through consistent practice with real conversations like these.
Absolutely. If you found this episode helpful, we'd be incredibly grateful if you could hit that subscribe button. It really does make a huge difference for us.
And don't forget to give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed today's content. It lets us know we're on the right track.
We're genuinely so proud of you for dedicating time to improving your English. Learning a language takes effort and commitment, and you're doing amazing.
You really are. Every conversation you listen to, every new word you learn, it all adds up. Progress might feel slow sometimes, but trust us, you're moving forward.
So don't get discouraged, stay curious, and most importantly, have fun with the learning process.
We'll be back soon with more practical conversations and useful content. Until then, take care, everyone.
See you in the next episode.
Bye-bye.